Kevin Owens' WWE contract status has been revealed, plus an AEW star has made their in-ring return and won a title, plus multiple NXT Halloween Havoc title matches have been announced. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. Oh, that was a spicy video that Kevin Owens shared last night.
Certainly was.
What a cheeky boy. It's a bit worky-shooty with our Kev at the moment. And in the video, he said some rather spicy things that may potentially lead to some very interesting results.
Yes, he said, ever since Bad Blood, there's been a lot of questions about why I did what I did to Cody Rhodes, where he beat him down off camera, but in front of all of the fans with their internet phones. I liked it, to be fair.
I loved it.
There's been a lot of judgments, he goes on to say. A lot of people judging me for what I did, and as much as I'd love to explain myself, give my side of the story, and speak my mind, WWE has not allowed me to do that. We saw that on this week's SmackDown, or last week's SmackDown, where his microphone got cut out and everything. They've done the opposite, actually. They've tried to shut me up, it seems, because they wouldn't let me come to SmackDown. I sent them a video that I hoped would air on Raw last night, but it didn't, so nobody could hear what I have to say. But of course, they had plenty of time for Cody to talk, but not for me. I'm giving them until Friday, this Friday on SmackDown, to air my video so that people can hear what I have to say. And if they don't, I guess I'll just post it here on social media.
Now, this all comes at around a time where Kevin Owens is renegotiating with WWE for a new deal. We have an update on that from WrestleVotes Radio, who say they reached out and talked to a couple of people within WWE and say, didn't get a definitive one way or another, but did get a really positive response, so that it's very close, if not completed with a handshake. I'd imagine that he is around for the long term.
That's cool, and I like that. Well, for one, I like that we're going to continue to see Kevin Owens on our screens, because I think he's fantastic. Not that he wouldn't end up somewhere else very prominent if they didn't sign him, I assume. But also, I like what they're doing with him. It feels big time. It feels like he could get a big sort of main event push. He's always been in the main event picture for a number of years now, but this could be the thing that really is his defining storyline in WWE.
And there's no other storylines on current WWE television like this one.
It's getting special treatment, exactly, yeah.
And that's the big thing for me. I think if you run multiple storylines which bleed into the worky, shooty work nature, then it becomes a bit too overdone. But the fact that this is the only story of this nature being done in this way, it makes it feel very fresh, it makes it feel very different, and it gives Kevin Owens something to really get his teeth into as well.
And even though he's a heel, in a similar sort of way to Drew McIntyre, they've given him all the justification in the world to get his point of view across. So even though we're not meant to cheer him, we can sort of understand his point of view.
It's also given us something what could potentially be an impetus for a Cody Rhodes heel turn.
Oh, yes!
Oh, yes, boy!
A little bit, I felt like I was a bit like Ross there.
Yes! Yeah. Potentially, because whatever he's got on Cody might be something that makes people go, oh, actually, Kev, you were right.
Yeah. I like that there's multiple different ways this could go, and it's making me want to tune in more.
And that's the whole point of the wrestling. Let's move over to the AEW side of things, where Thunder Rosa has been out of action since August. And she's spoken very openly about the fact that she was getting close to an in-ring return. Last night in the UK, she made her in-ring return in a big way.
She did, as part of Riot Cabaret's show last night. And this is the first time, as Tom said, that she's competed since being injured during that match on Collision back in August. Great to see her back, first and foremost, because Thunder Rosa's had such bad luck with injuries over the past couple of years, really. So it's great to see her back. But as you mentioned, she also won a belt, too.
She is the new Riot Cabaret Women's champion, winning that title in the feature match of Riot Cabaret's Thunder Road event last night. It was just as it looked like Nina Samuels had it sewn up, Cassius came in with the hairspray and accidentally sprayed the face of Nina Samuels.
Okay.
And it's not how the Nina Samuels show is supposed to end, but this led to a Blue Thunder bomb from Thunder Rosa, and Thunder Rosa becoming a champion on her first match back since her injury in August.
I'll tell you what, not only is this good news for Thunder Rosa, but also when we were down in London as part of the All-In weekend festivities, there were so many wrestling shows going on left, right and centre, and you were part of Grado's fantastic show as well.
Oh, it's good times.
The one that I didn't see or hear or really go to, that everyone I met was like, oh, it was such a good show, was I need to keep an eye out for Riot Cabaret, because it sounds like they're doing really kind of wacky but inventive things in UK wrestling.
They are genuinely one of the more must-watch promotions in the UK. I really love what Riot Cabaret do, and I got to meet some of the people behind Riot Cabaret during that All-In weekend, and genuinely excited, should my calendar open up in some way, to actually come down and see you guys and actually watch a show because I flipping love what you're doing. Wrestling's great when people get creative with it.
Yes.
It really is. Speaking of creative, spin the wheel and make the deal. The wheel is back ahead of Halloween Havoc on NXT.
It doesn't get any more creative than that. NXT champion Trick Williams will put his title up at Halloween Havoc against the man he beat to win the title back, Ethan Paige. As determined by the wheel, it'll be a Devil's Playground match. My issue with the wheel. Some of the choices, that's just a hardcore match, isn't it? A lot of them just end up being no DQ matches of some variety, and that's fine, but I guess it's just a bit of a Halloween-y way to announce it, I suppose.
Yeah, because is your issue the fact that they mostly end up just being no DQ matches, but with tombstones and bats?
One or two of them do, but sometimes there's some more slightly inventive ones. Trick Williams versus Ethan Paige, I don't think it's a match that anyone was necessarily desperate to see again. Nothing against either guy involved, but just the sort of the storyline. But at least, assuming Trick Williams wins, it sort of closes the door on that feud and gives Trick a sense of closure. And he's won his belt back, and now he's secured his reign once again.
And then we can move on to Trick versus Wesley. Thank you very much. I'd like that. Thank you. Another Halloween Havoc title match was made official last night on NXT. The North American Championship on the line. New champ Tony D'Angelo facing Obafemi, and the wheel spinning determined the match would be a tables, ladders, and scares match.
Sorry.
You get up the ladder, you go to get the belt, and then someone goes, boom! Oh, no!
I was so brave, if I do say so myself, in predicting that Tony D would be over Femi, and he did. And now,
very brave.
Yeah, thank you. I was the brave one.
You were the brave one.
But now I think he'll win again because of the stipulation. He doesn't need a pin over, assuming that the belt's going to be suspended above the ring. He can just climb a ladder and knock it a fright and pull it down. So there we go.
Also, we had a tag team match announced for Halloween Havoc. It's going to see Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez reuniting as a tag team. It was as if that already pre-broken skateboard never happened.
Yes.
And they're going to face the combo of Julia and Stephanie Vaquer. This will be good. They'll have a lovely time.
I think so as well. This comes after Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez reunited, of course, at the CW premiere. And then 1 week later, Julia sort of went, all right, you've got backup. Well, I've got backup. And it's Stephanie Vaquer. Interesting storyline ramifications in this one, because will we see tension maybe between the heel team because they've been rivals in the past, or maybe between the face team because they're two new top dogs going to try and, stake a claim to getting another title match. So I think there's various ways it could go.
We'll keep you up to date on that when you can get the latest from NXT and find out where the Wheel of Mythicality is going to land at Cultaholic.com ahead of NXT Halloween Havoc. We want to send some love finally to Joe Koff and the family. Now, tributes in the wrestling world have been pouring in for Joe Koff, who passed away yesterday morning after a battle with cancer. Joe Koff is such a crucial figure in the Ring of Honor story. He was one that helped to broker a broadcast deal with Ring of Honor in Sinclair. He took the role of COO during some really turbulent times for Ring of Honor. I don't think you can tell the story of Ring of Honor without talking about Joe Koff.
Yeah, and rightly so. There's been a lot of tributes pouring in, as Tom said. Many wrestlers who worked with him have reached out since his passing, and former Ring of Honor president Kerry Silkin, who tweeted, "Thank you for being such a kind man and for your love of pro wrestling."
Ring of Honor commentator Ian Riccaboni tweeting, "I'd love to share the dozens of Joe stories I have, but the conversation always came back to our families, the pulse of the crew, and usually Battle of the Belts, most specifically Flair versus Wyndham from the second edition. He had his priorities straight."
Frankie Kazarian remembered him as well, saying Joe loved pro wrestling and was integral to putting together a roster in the original Ring of Honor that would shift the industry, and that's no exaggeration. His contributions were immense. Goodbye, my friend, and Godspeed.
And the WWE champion Cody Rhodes described Joe Koff as a really great man that I learned a lot from and was always happy and lucky to be in his presence. We here at Cultaholic extend our condolences to the friends and the family of Joe Koff today. For the latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out Cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.